Welcome to In Her Voice. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am passionate about helping women live authentically by listening to their inner voice. Get ready to be inspired by women of all walks of life that have set aside their should-bes and not good enoughs and are standing in their true voice, the voice of wisdom that each and every one of us has inside. Hey you guys, this is Kelly Covert here, and you are listening to episode number 5 of In Her Voice. And today I want to talk with you guys about joy. And specifically, I want to talk about creating joy in our real, everyday, messy, imperfect, not always wonderful lives, right? I mean, this is real talk here. If we never had any problems and we had all the money in the world and our kids were always well behaved and nobody ever did anything bad to us, it seems like it would be easy to be happy and to be joyful. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in real life that sometimes throws you curveballs and sometimes you don't get enough sleep or whatever's coming up for you. In real life, how can we create joy, create our own joy? How can we start to take responsibility for that in our lives? Because I don't know about you guys, but I want to be happy. I want to be overflowing with joy every single day, regardless of what's going on in my life. And I really, really believe that that can be very intentional. We can set an intention to create joy in our lives. And I think also that we have to be mindful of that. So let me tell you a story that really highlights this concept. The other day, I was going through my credit card statement and I noticed a charge on there that shouldn't have been there. And it was for an online subscription for something that I had canceled. So I called the company and I talked with the customer service person and I said, I canceled this on this date. And he's saying, well, we're not showing a charge. And I was seeing that there was a charge on my credit card. So to make a long story short, I ended up on the phone with that company and my credit card company for like an hour that morning. And I was annoyed. I was not joyful. I just was like, that was not how I wanted to spend my morning. I had different plans in mind. I was going to do some journaling and relax with my coffee, and that did not happen. While I was on hold with one of these companies, I even sort of rehearsed what I was going to tell everybody at the gym that morning, how annoyed I was. I was going to tell them the whole story and share with them what an awful morning I had. And then I caught myself and I realized in that moment right there, I could make a decision about what I was going to feel. In that moment, I could be pissed, I could be angry, I could be annoyed, I could be figuring out how I'm going to rehash this all day long to everyone that I talk to. Or I can make a choice to be joyful. I can make a choice just to let it go and to create my own joy, recognizing that I am not creating joy by holding on to this event that annoyed me. I cannot create my joy by rehashing it out with every person that I come across throughout the day. That is not going to bring me joy. In fact, it's just going to make me feel exactly how I was feeling again. And it was really interesting to me because when I had this moment, this opportunity where I could make this choice, where I could let it go and choose joy or hold on to it and be annoyed for the rest of the day, it was really hard for me to let go of it. It was really hard, surprisingly hard. And I was like, Kelly, Why would you want to hold on to this thing? Why do you want to hold on to your suffering and pain so badly that you would do that instead of letting it go to create joy in your life? And you know what I realized? I think that we want to make things right. So if I had taken that story and I had told other people about it, they would have commiserated with me, and somehow that would have made it right. You know, if they could say, yeah, that was bad. I can't believe that happened to you. That was terrible. That's sort of justifying everything or making it better. But you know what? It's not. It's not. It's just making me feel the same way again. And this is true of anything in your life that's causing you suffering. I mean, obviously, this is just a story about me having to be on customer service, but it could be anything. It could be your kids driving you crazy. It could be your husband or your partner saying something to you that really hurts your feelings. It's when we let those things go that we're really able to let the joy come back in. And the joy is there. The joy is there. All we have to do is say, here I am. Come fill me up. And it's there for us. So in every moment, we can choose that. In every moment, we can choose to let go of our suffering. We can choose to let go of our anger. We can choose to let go of anything that is not the way that we want to feel. And we can welcome in that joy. We can welcome in peace. We can welcome in love. We can welcome in all of these things. But the point is, we have to make a practice of doing that. We have to start to become aware of those moments. Just like that moment I had where I literally saw myself at this decision-making point that was going to affect the rest of my day for good or for bad. And I was very aware in that moment. I was able to be mindful enough of what was happening that I could almost like take a step back outside of myself and look at it. Just look at the situation for what it is. Take myself outside of the emotion of the situation and just, be an observer. Look at what's going on. Ask myself questions about how I want to feel and what is going to help me feel that way. And so these practices, these mindful practices of observing, of paying attention, of knowing how we want to feel, of knowing how we don't want to feel, of knowing how doing certain actions over and over again will make us feel, these are where we get our power to create joy in our life. And I really feel like we need to start taking responsibility for that. If you want to be happy, if you want to be joyful, choose joy. Don't choose staying pissed off. Don't choose suffering. Don't choose complaining. Don't choose anger. None of those things are going to help you feel anything but that. And it seems so simple, right? I mean, look, I know it's easy to say that, and it's much, much more difficult to do it. But that's where the practicing comes in, right? You guys, this is not about practice makes perfect. I don't believe in perfect. You guys know that. But what this is about is practicing a skill, the skill of mindfulness, the skill of observing, the skill of choosing, the skill of knowing how you want to feel. You're practicing all of those things. And the more you practice them, the better you get. It's like training a muscle. If you want to run a marathon, you run half a mile one day. And the next day you go out and you run a little bit more than that. And the next day you go out and you run a little bit more than that. You train, you get your body accustomed to doing the thing that you want it to do all the time. And that's exactly what we can do with these practices. And all of these practices are getting to the heart of what this podcast is about, listening to your inner voice. we've got to practice it, you guys. We have to practice it in a way that we mean it. What do I mean by that? Don't just do it half-heartedly. Be fully dedicated to honoring that voice all the time. Remind yourself. Send yourself emails. Write notes to yourself. Make a vow to yourself that you will listen and you will honor how you want to feel, what your inner voice is telling you. It makes all the difference in the world. I just want to encourage you to keep at it, to know that joy is your birthright, that you can choose joy every single day. And that doesn't mean that sucky things aren't going to happen. That doesn't mean that you're never going to have to spend an hour with customer service on hold or whatever. It doesn't mean that your kids aren't going to make you mad or that you're not going to fight with your husband. It doesn't mean that. What it means is that inside of those circumstances that sometimes feel out of our control, we can choose. We can step back and observe and say, how do I want to feel right now? And we can choose to create joy. So I hope this helps you guys. I'm so excited that you're here. If you really love what I'm doing here on In Her Voice, I encourage you to head on over to iTunes. Be sure to subscribe, leave a rating and review. That would really help to get the word out so more people can find out about In Her Voice, because you know what we need? We need in this world today women who are connecting to and listening to and acting on what their inner voice tells them to do. And why do we need that? Because you matter. We need you to be fulfilling your destiny here on this earth. And the only way you can do that is by listening to your inner voice.